Hey guys, back another lovely day examining earthquakes around the world. I found some correlations I wanted to share, and so especially with this Pennsylvania quake. This one stood out to me because it was in the middle of nowhere. Like if we turn off, if I do this, it's going to invalidate the cache. But if we turn off like future predictions yesterday, 2025, 610. No quakes anywhere around here, and then out of nowhere, this Pennsylvania quake happens. I don't think there's any fault lines there. I'm too lazy to check. I need to add an overlay for faults, yes, but it just looks suspicious. So I thought I would analyze it, and I saw some interesting stuff, and I thought I would share that with you guys. So here we have our Pennsylvania quake, right? And so I've got this new, I think in the last one or two videos I said I need this feature for tracking. So I added a feature for tracking quakes. And here is our feature for tracking quakes. And so I'm going to follow this quake, and I'm going to sort of cycle through the last few. And here it is, closest geodesic is 0.02 degrees away, so it's going through a lot of geodesics whenever it did strike. Oh, sorry. Whenever this is my whatever theory from the very start is that every time a quake strikes, there's always two or more quakes around the world that form a geodesic within 0.1 degrees, and there's usually a lot. There's not just one. There's usually a whole bunch. Like in this case, there's 7. For the record, examining quakes for the last week, I finally found a quake that had none within 0.1 degrees, but there, of course, were some within 1 degree, within 5, etc. These quakes are lining up on geodesics that transcend fault lines, but almost every single one, like 99.99%, are within 0.1 degrees of 2 other quakes around the world. So here's our Pennsylvania quake, and it's going to look for weird behavior around it. And so we start going back in time, look for what's close to it. And as you can see, there's nothing for the... Oh, never mind, right there. This is just 3 degrees away, right? This is probably significant, but I'm still discounting it for the time being. But it's probably significant, but it also shows us that all of these quakes through the Caribbean, through the West Coast USA, and through Alaska, they are going right beside this Pennsylvania quake, and also this Canadian one that was out in the middle of nowhere that I should probably do a similar analysis on, because I don't think there was no quakes, no activity around there, and then it just shakes, and this quake also lies on these geodesics. But I'll continue focusing on the Pennsylvania quake because it had something really interesting with it. And still nothing, 17 degrees, still pretty far away. 5 degrees, getting warmer, right? 4 degrees, getting warmer. Let's see. There, 0.3 degrees away. And this is our South Atlantic Sandwich Islands quake. And if I remember, this guy also struck 2 other times. So this is 0.3 degrees away, but it's going to strike 2 more times if I remember, in line with this. There it is, 1, 2, in line with this Philadelphia or Pennsylvania quake. So 0.5, 0.7. What is this? 5.6 and a 4.8. There's another one, I think, even. Oh, there's the other one. 5.4, 0.3 degrees, then a 5. It's going slow. 5.6 at 0.5 degrees. So this quake, Sandwich Islands, is cracking along the same bisection of the entire, spheroid or ellipsoid of the planet Earth, through Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. I keep saying that. Through a few other quakes. If we hunt down the geodesic, we'll find the other ones. But keep going. There's still more to see. This one also. Oh, this one is, the reason it says 0 is because this quake, the Pennsylvania quake, is the generator of the geodesic that's going to pass within whatever 0.1 degrees of this Alaska quake for Yukon, Alaska. And then this says 0 because Pennsylvania. I'm guessing it's so. Wait, let's find this in the list. What's our number for Pennsylvania? 1303. There it is. Pennsylvania and Russia. Kursk, Russia. So this one. Here we go on the panhandle there. So that's the geodesic. From this one to this one forms a geodesic that this guy is how far away? Is 0.39 degrees away. Sorry, this display says 0 because it's forming the geodesic, but it's 0.039 degrees, well under 0.01 degrees away. There, yeah, 0.039. But keep going, there's more to see. Let's see. Sorry, I'll bring the nearest pop-up. Oh yeah, that's exactly the quake I was looking for. California, right off the coast. And it's right exactly on the line. It's probably forming it. Is it forming it? Maybe it's not. Yeah, I think it's forming it. I think this is just numerical error. And so, let's see if I can find 1303 here again. There's a lot. There's 95, incredibly close geodesics going through this one. They're kind of fanning out, so I'm not going to make any bold assumptions on what's going on. I think this is like internal movement. That's my opinion. I'm in that camp. The planet displays up just for humor's sake, and the odd correlation that very often there's a planet going within 1 degree of each of these quakes. But here we are, 0.09. From Pennsylvania to Solomon Islands, goes right over this Petrolia, California quake. But the show's not over yet, kids. There's even more. There's that Kursk, or next door. Sorry, this is still what 1.6 degrees off. Still more California shaking. Keep going back. Keep going. Here we have this one once again forms a geodesic with Pennsylvania and points somewhere else, but nonetheless there's 3 in a row still. And here's Philippines, of all places across the other side of the world, drawing a line to Pennsylvania. What does it go through? I could and I will slowly be making the interface better, don't worry. But let's find 1303 on this list. I think maybe I'll add some click to find features. Oh wait, is it outside of our threshold? No, yeah, it's outside of our threshold. It's 0.4 and I'm looking only for 0.1 degrees. So tight thresholds. Whatever behavior is going on is probably not so tight, but nonetheless, this Philippines quake on a geodesic that goes very close to our quake, I think through the Caribbean, and there's the Caribbean shaking. What do you know? Speak of, what are the odds? But wait for it. There's even another one I want to highlight. There's another geodesic forming Pennsylvania and some other stuff. I'm not gonna bother with that one. That's not the highlight of the show. And it's going slow. The cache is slow. The streaming is or the recording is probably also slow. Sorry. Is that it? Chile. This is close, but not quite there yet, but close. Here's this north-south. Remember the last few videos I kept going on about how crazy this north-south quake was through this island south of Australia, through the Antarctic, and then through the Arctic, and then on that exact same fault line, we had the 6.4, not the Columbia, but the Chile one the day before 6.4. Well, here we have this quake is on that geodesic, but not that geodesic, but another geodesic on this quake. And this geodesic here that goes through this quake in Chile, Pennsylvania, is also going through that Columbia quake that I just did a video on. Isn't that weird? It goes through these islands down here, through Chile, through Colombia, and then to this new quake in Pennsylvania in the middle of nowhere. No activity. I think no fault line. I'll double check that. But middle of nowhere quake just happens to line up with our big quake of the last 2 days. What are the odds? And then I think these guys even strike again really soon. That's it. The Columbia quake as well. Same, it's on the exact same geodesic through this other Chile quake through these islands, and then these islands strike. So on this particular geodesic, we've got a few striking all in a row. There again, but this time the activity seems to be through, or I should say the closest angles, because I'm on this incredibly tight threshold, 0.1 degrees. So the closest geodesics are the ones in the Caribbean, but the same cluster of quakes. Wait for it. There's one that strikes down here at the very bottom. Sorry for my slow computer. Oh yeah, this one's also geodesic forming, but all this activity lines up with all this activity. I mentioned that in another one, that this is like the geodesic that divides the water half from the land half of the Earth. More activity. Wait for it. We're gonna get to those islands in the south. They're not the Falkland, but they're next door. Yeah, there's the infamous Columbia quake. There, finally. Ushuaia, Argentina, right? 0.5 degrees from our Philadelphia quake. Goes right through that cluster of it goes through the 6.4 Columbia quake, or is it 6.3? I forgot, and it goes through the prior Chile quake cluster. Looks like it deviates. It's probably pretty close to some of the smaller ones, but it deviates from the biggest one. But nonetheless, north-south through all this activity, and then, like I just showed you, a few days later, something shakes in the ground way up here, far from everything else. Oh, and this one in particular, I appreciated the fact that this other line goes through the Antarctic and the Arctic quakes that I was drawing attention to. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys that when I looked it over yesterday. Since it happened, we have had a bit more activity, right? For starters, this Canada quake. This one I think happened in the middle of nowhere, and I want to look over that, but I'll save it for later. And then I want to say, yeah, these ones. Was it Taiwan? Yeah, Taiwan started shaking also. I wanted to look over those because, as you can see, they go through a few quakes. But I'll keep this one shorter for now because I talk too much, go over too much, and yeah, I'll try to break these up. But yeah, until next time.